We are now on the Task Helper's dashboard. Let's open up a Taskflow-suggest. We see that the first accordion section is opened. The user is able to open any of them, and also close them. In general, the user will enter the subject for the Taskflow-suggest, enter description. When they click on the checkbox, the number will increase. Let us do a couple of them. The number increases again. Now if the user were to change their mind and uncheck the checkbox, the total also decreases. Now to submit it, the user click on Submit Taskflow-suggest button. After it has been submitted, the subject and the description will be set to read only. Status will show date and time submitted. Checkbox will get set to display none or hidden. And in total number submitted will show here. Let's look in the database and see the information we submitted. We can see the subject here, the description here, the date and time information here. The submit bit will represent that it has been submitted. We track the record row number and put it into new and ID field. And we keep total submitted here in the field as total. Okay. Now let's see how we are checking that the form is filled out correctly. To make sure form is properly filled out, we are making the checks in two places, by having an on-click function for each Taskflow-suggest, and then checking them all again before submitting. Here is a case where we have set up on-click function for all the checkboxes, and for each of the on-click function, we can catch if user did not enter subject or description, because they are clicking the checkbox which executes the on-click function. Now let's say that they forgot to click the checkbox. So we need to check for the form being properly filled out again before submitting for processing. For example, if we find that the checkbox is enabled, being that we usually hide the checkbox for those ones that have already been submitted. So if we find that the checkbox is enabled and it is not checked and we find there is anything in either the subject or the description, then we know it's a case where they have forgotten to check the checkbox. We have provided a walkthrough with explanation of how we have implemented this second round of checks, as part of a validation function, of an AJAX that submits the form for processing. In a rare case, let's say a user enters the subject, description, and checks the checkbox, but then subject and/or description were to become removed, we will need to catch this instance and realize that we need to subtract a 1 from our total count. This then is kind of a special case. This is how we accounted for this case, within the onClick function for the Taskflow-suggest, since we already have a condition block that will catch if either subject or description is empty, so we inserted an additional condition there, that if the checkbox is turned off to subtract 1 from total count. Here in the script walkthrough, you can see the onClick function. We have provided explanation about this case here. In terms of performance improvement, here is the server side that processes the user input, from the form submit. You can see, here that we always do a check, for all possible 100, Taskflow-suggest every time. So we are thinking, this is way the performance could be improved to process form faster. And in terms of UI/UX improvements, we can have a look at this other side here, which is also using an accordion as we are. So we are thinking UI/UX improvements along the same lines. Thank you for your time. We look forward to working with you.